This isn't your grandma's Greyhound bus. Get ready to become obsessed with bus travel in Mexico. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Alex, and I moved to Mexico from the US in 2017. I've called Querétaro home ever since. After watching this video, you will know the ins and outs of first class and executive class, sometimes called luxury, bus travel in Mexico. You'll know how to book tickets on bus lines like Primera Plus, plus really helpful tips for the smoothest journey possible for your own bus travel in Mexico. When it comes to bus travel in Mexico, my rule of thumb is any journey less than 5 hours, I am definitely taking the bus. I won't rule a journey longer than 5 hours out either. Last New Year's, I ended up taking an overnight bus 11 hours from Querétaro to Puerto Vallarta because plane tickets were just way too expensive. I was worried I'd arrive after the 11-hour journey feeling dead, but I was actually surprisingly well rested and ready to party. While the water's heating up for my tea, here is why I love bus travel in Mexico. First class buses in Mexico are comfortable. They are air conditioned, they have reclining seats with leg rests, there are entertainment options, there are also toilets. Bus travel in Mexico is affordable. 9 times out of 10, your bus ticket is going to be way less than a plane ticket. And you're also gonna save money on that taxi trip to the bus terminal. It's usually a lot closer to the central part of town than an airport. Bus travel in Mexico is convenient. I mean it when I say that you can get pretty much anywhere in Mexico by bus. You might need to use a combination of first class and second class buses, but you will get there. I also love that there are no limits on your luggage like there is with air travel. You can pretty much bring whatever you want, how heavy of a bag as you want on the bus. Lastly, bus travel in Mexico is safe. All the buses that I've ever been on, definitely the first class and luxury buses, have seat belts. Plus the drivers are super knowledgeable, super experienced, and I really love not having to mess with, not having to think about driving in Mexico myself. Just sitting back, relaxing, and enjoying the ride. Here is some bus travel vocabulary that's going to make your life in Mexico a whole lot easier. One common mistake that I hear a lot from people is referring to the bus station as the estación de autobuses or something along those lines. Instead, you want to call the bus station the terminal or the central. You can look for those words and you will find the main bus station in a city. Other helpful words to know are ida, which refers to the going trip, the first leg of your trip. Vuelta, which is the return trip. So if you buy a trip that's ida y vuelta, it's round trip. Escala, or sometimes parada, means stops. So if you see that your ticket says uno, dos, tres escalas, that means that you'll be stopping 1, 2, 3 times during the journey. However, if your ticket says sin escalas or directo, that means you're going straight there, directly there, no stops. Tip. While smaller cities in Mexico usually only have 1 bus station, bigger cities can have a couple. Mexico City has 4. So it's really important to take the time to look in maps, see where you're leaving from, where you're getting into, and not just selecting any old bus station when you are buying your ticket. It is possible to purchase your tickets right at the bus station. In fact, a lot of Mexicans prefer to do this. Personally, the only time that I opt to buy my ticket at the bus station directly at the counter versus online ahead of time is when I'm flying into Mexico City. I'm not sure when my plane is going to arrive, how long it's going to take to get through immigration, and I just like to wait instead of buying the ticket ahead of time and potentially missing it. The only time that this has burned me is when I've gotten to Mexico City on a holiday. I got there on Christmas once and ended up waiting something like 5 hours to get a bus back to Querétaro. Also, Sunday nights. Sunday is a busy travel day. Sunday night is the busiest time, as I'm sure you can imagine. So if you're getting to Mexico City on a Sunday night, it might be a good idea to buy your ticket ahead of time. If you're finding this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I'm going to share my screen and walk you through one of my most frequently done bus trips in Mexico from Querétaro to the Mexico City airport to show you how to buy a ticket ahead of time online with Primera Plus. Now over here we have Origen, and I'm leaving from Querétaro. That is the origin of my trip. So let's type in Querétaro, and here we see Querétaro, Terminal de Autobuses. Go ahead and select that. Now let's type in the final destination. Like I said, I am headed to the Mexico City airport, and there are buses that go right from Querétaro to the Mexico City airport. All right, let's say I'm going to Terminal 2. Now, salida is the date that you are traveling. I'll set it for Thursday. Buscar, start your search. Now here you can see all the times for the buses. There's one leaving pretty much every hour, if not twice an hour. So let's say that I am buying a ticket for the 5 p.m. bus. Here we can see that the journey takes 3 hours and 10 minutes. There are 25 asientos, seats available, and there is one escala. Now that one escala in this case is the other terminal in Mexico City. It's not another city entirely. Over here on the far right, you can see the price of the ticket. All right, elegir, let's choose. On this next page, you get to select your seats for the journey. Any seat in white is free. And just because I've gotten this question before, what the little rectangle in front of each seat is, that's a TV screen. All right, so I'll choose the seat. If you are buying tickets for more than one passengers, just select the number of seats that you want, and then later on, you'll fill in the information for each traveler. On this next page here, you will fill out the passenger information. Here you can tick the box if the buyer is the same person. I just got a pop-up that asks if I want to add additional coverage for 15 pesos. And honestly, usually I say no. It doesn't matter what bus line, Primera Plus, ETN, it doesn't like my foreign credit card. What I do instead is I pay with PayPal. Once you're all paid up with PayPal, it'll take you back to the Primera Plus website and you can finalize your tickets and they will go right to your inbox. You don't need to print them out, just have them with you on your phone when you go to the bus station and you will be asked to show them when you check in. I prefer to buy my bus tickets on the Primera Plus website directly with the bus company, but if you really want to use your credit card, your debit card, then a good option for you might be to use a third-party website like BusBud. My friend and fellow travel blogger Janine from Janine in the World touches on using BusBud in her awesome guide for using ADO, which is the main first class, luxury class bus line in southern Mexico in the Yucatan. I will put a link to her guide in the description below. You know how to buy your ticket now, but what's the deal with bus stations in Mexico? There's a few things that you've got to know. The bathrooms at the bus stations in Mexico usually have a 5 to 6 peso entrance fee. So make sure you have some change on hand when you are at the bus station, or else you won't be able to go to the bathroom. Back in the day, pre-pandemic, Primera Plus and other luxury bus lines used to give you a snack, a dry sandwich, a bottle of water when you boarded, but that all went away. So if you've got a long journey ahead of you, make sure you bring snacks. And just in case you're wondering, there is almost always an ATM at the bus station in Mexico. No guarantee it will be in working order, of course, but it's a pretty safe bet that you will be able to get some pesos at the bus station. Now, how early should you arrive to the bus station? 30 minutes is solid. The closest I've ever gotten to a departure time is probably like 5 minutes. I still made it, but I wouldn't recommend that for your sanity. I was definitely sweating it out on that one. For some buses, you may be required to check your luggage ahead of time, and that happens 10 to 15 minutes before departure. They will call the time of your bus and you will take your luggage, your bigger luggage, up to the counter. Basically anything can go under the bus, but the spot for items on the bus itself, the overhead bin area, is pretty small. So you're not going to be able to fit a large backpack, a large bag up there. Even my go-to Osprey Porter 30 does not fit on the actual bus. I have to store it below. Whether you check your bag 10 to 15 minutes ahead of your departure, or if you hand it off right before getting on the bus, the attendant will ask to see your ticket so they can match your seat number up with the luggage tag. They're going to split the luggage tag in half and give you your little receipt half, and you need to hang on to that because they are very serious about checking those before giving your bag back at the final destination. I also just wanted to note that depending on the route, you might need to go through a metal detector, personal bag revision, security wand, that kind of thing before boarding the bus. So just make sure if it's a new to you trip, a new to you journey, you haven't done it before, that you make sure that you leave yourself enough time. Mom, come up here. Now, once you get to your final destination, you're gonna get off the bus and line up to collect your luggage. And what's something that most people forget when they are...
Don't forget to tip your luggage handler.
Don't forget to tip your luggage handler. You only need 5 pesos, 10 pesos, whatever change you have in your pocket, but have that ready to go in your pocket so you don't need to dig around and hold up the line. From the bus terminal, I always have a plan for how I'm going to get to my final destination, whether that's a hotel or an Airbnb, and usually I'll opt for a rideshare or take an authorized taxi. If you have any questions about bus travel in Mexico, please feel free to ask away in the comments below. And next, check out my video about the Mexico City airport, my top tips for stress-free travel, because putting it mildly, the Mexico City airport is chaos. And if you plan on traveling through there, I think you'll be glad you watched my video. I'm Alex from backpackingbrunette.com. Thanks for watching.